why being a perfectionist can actually be dangerous in so many ways.
Yeah, and why there can be so many downsides to it, because we're used to thinking of, being a perfectionist as, oh, yeah, everything is lovely and comes out really nice.
Yes, associating it with excellence and
Exactly,
with
yes. But today we're going to be actually talking about this toxic perfectionism and why, we've got to become aware of it.
and why it can actually stop you in your tracks and stop you from living your best life. So tune in to Get Real with
the English Sisters.
Please do share this podcast with your family and friends and on social media if you enjoy it, and let us know in the comments if you enjoy it, or send us a text if you're on your podcast player.
Yay! So let's get down to this podcast today. And there's reasons why we decided to talk about this, isn't there?
Well, there are reasons, because we suddenly decided that, the lady that comes to help us in the house, she cannot clean a room if everything if it's not tidy.
Exactly.
If your house,
it's either all or nothing.
Yeah.
She'll open a door and she'll say, "Oh no, there are a few things on the floor, thus I could not clean that room." And this sounds like, and she only comes, it sounds ridiculous. I know I'm really lucky to have her coming to help me, so I'm really ultra grateful the fact that I have her. She only comes once a week, and but sometimes I think, why? And then after speaking to her, I realized that it's kind of like, no, because it's not. If things aren't perfect this isn't just with the cleaning aspect, it's everything in her life. Everything has to be done perfectly. And I'm sure there are a lot of you out there that you are either almost, I want to say the word, suffering from perfectionism.
Because you can say suffering
it is
from perfectionism.
And it's like a disease, and it's on the rise.
Yeah.
This is actually on the rise.
Exactly.
There are more and more people that are becoming perfectionists due to social media, due to comparison.
I think so, and I think it really gets into your mind. It does your head in the end, because you stop. It stops you in your tracks. It stops you from doing things. Just as she, she can't clean a room if there's a few boxes on the floor or on the bed or something. You're in the middle of maybe doing your wardrobe out or something.
Yeah.
She'll just go in there and say, "Oh no, I can't do this room." Whereas
and close the door.
If I went in there, I would say, "Okay, there's a little bit of room here. I just vacuum the carpet a bit, then I'll go around and do a bit of there." But for her, in her mind, she just can't. It's like all or nothing. And I'm sure many of you can identify with that. Yeah. That maybe, things have stopped you in the past from doing things.
I've got my son. He is a total perfectionist. He does suffer from anxiety, though, every now and again. And for example, the other day, he said, "Oh, I really fancy mashed potatoes. Oh, but I can't be bothered with the long process." And I said, "What long process? For goodness sake, just stick a potato in the microwave and then get it out, put some butter on it and mash it up." That's how I would do it if I wanted it. It only takes 5 minutes, or otherwise you can boil them and then just mash them up with, even with a fork.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, Mum, I can't do it like that." And so I thought, okay. And he said, "No, I'm just going to go out now and grab a hamburger." So I thought, there you go. That's an example of, his perfectionism is actually getting in the way of his health. Because if it's not perfect, the mashed potatoes, then instead of eating a healthy potato, he's gone out to get a hamburger, which is just fast food. So I thought that's a classical example of lots of things that happen to him in his life that I can see. He's just bought a house now, so I thought, well, let's start painting, so you can move in and enjoy it. Yes, but we need to get a professional painter's opinion. We need to do the primer on the wall. We need to do this. No, everything was it's stopping.
It stops you from, just from rolling up your sleeves and getting on with it, because you're thinking in your head that you're not good enough to do that because you haven't got the the experience or the tools or the the know-how to do it. Whereas if you just say, okay, I'm just going to do my best, and that like I remember,
who cares?
I remember when we first came to Italy, when people used to have painters come in. And then all this DIY came.
Yes, it wasn't. Nobody would actually do it yourself here in Italy.
No,
we came from the UK and the English kind of mindset where people would do their own homes up and just sort of figure a way. It wouldn't be perfect, but no, not here.
So here they had to kind of shine a light. They would get a torch and actually shine it on the wall to see if there was any like kinks or nooks or crannies or any imperfections in the paint job they'd done.
Yeah, so but obviously that was a professional painter that would come in and do it.
Yeah, but
and then
do you really need a professional painter though? If you've got loads of money to splash out and you've got the
financial resources,
yes, of course you can get an interior decorator, you can get a painter, you can get you can get all of this stuff, but most of us in the real world, we don't have all that extra cash lying around to
and it is hard work when you actually do the painting, but what a satisfaction you get afterwards when you manage to do it yourself. There is that sense of pride, and your self-worth grows when you do things yourself. You immediately have this massive boost in self-esteem. So it's good for you also to try and do these things.
And I think like recently, my husband's done out the bathroom and the upstairs bathroom.
He did it himself, didn't he?
And my son is shocked. Why, Dad? Why are you doing this? You don't need to do this now at this stage in your life. You can get someone to do it for you. Why are you killing yourself doing it? And he has actually got sore knee from it.
It was hard work.
He's loved the process and he's thoroughly enjoyed it. And I've enjoyed the fact that I haven't got workers in my house every day.
That he did it.
He did it, and he's just nice and quiet and discreet. And
he's brilliant. He's brilliant when he does his jobs.
So I haven't got people in there.
He is a perfectionist, but I think he's learned how to sort of master his perfectionist to his advantage there.
Yes.
Because he is another example of a perfectionist.
But it's never stopped him. He's not a toxic perfectionist.
No. He'll get on with it.
He'll get on with it and try and learn.
He'll write notes down.
But then while he's doing it, he'll want it to be more and more. So he wants to learn how to do it properly.
Yes, he does.
If he does put a tile down that's slightly wonky, he'll try and lift it up and then redo it. But he does accept as well that there might be things that aren't exactly 100% perfect.
He allows flexibility. Yes, it's like in business, isn't there?
Maybe because he also listens to me where I say that's fine, just get on with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe if he was on his own, he might go down that rabbit hole a bit more of toxic perfectionism.
I think if you've got two perfectionists in a couple, in a friendship, that's when things can be a little bit tricky because they do say opposites attract, so perhaps a lot of the times there is one perfectionist and then you end up with somebody else that's not like that, and you actually quite enjoy that feeling of sort of somebody that's more flexible around you.
I think that's probably quite a good combination, because you'll like egg each other on, won't you? The perfectionist will make you do things a bit better and more perfection.
It'll actually
inspire you. But it's when it stops you from doing things, or it's like all or nothing mentality, which is like harmful, I think, and toxic.
Well, it's like in business, isn't it? There is a saying called analysis paralysis. So if you analyze something too much, you will never do anything. And it's actually feared in business, because they say if you're going to start up an idea and you start it and then you have to wait for everything to be perfect, you will never get it done. And it paralyzes you, literally, the fear of not getting everything perfect, not having exactly the right budget, exactly the right personnel, this and that. You won't do it.
No,
you will be paralyzed.
It'll stop you in life. It'll create a lot of anxiety as well, because you'll feel frustrated because you're not fulfilling the thing that you wanted to do.
Exactly. I mean, you've got to sort of become aware of this, I think.
I think it's like everything. If you become aware of what you're doing with your own
mind,
with your own mind and your own thoughts, and you know when you're going down that spiral of perfectionism, you can stop yourself and say, hey, well, maybe, a little bit more flexibility, or maybe if there's a few things wrong with it, that's fine, because overall it's a good thing.
Exactly. Overall, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were babies, we didn't learn how to walk, immediately. We didn't do it perfectly. We started crawling and then we didn't know how to eat properly, and we made a terrible mess with our food, spitting it out, and goodness me.
Pooing in our pants.
Yeah, we weren't perfect. And so we're not perfect now as adults either. We have to allow that flexibility and be elastic enough in our own minds to say, who cares? It's good. It's a good job. And I'm proud of, become proud of yourself for doing it. And for taking those first steps, I think you've got to just allow for more flexibility to enter your life.
Yeah, and I think that also comes when it comes down with your health and your fitness. A perfectionist will never start working out because they won't have the right equipment, or they won't have the amount of time necessary to do it. I haven't got an hour today.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you could just do maybe 10 minutes and
That's
you just
what
follow
my son
a YouTube
says. He
video.
Says, really, I would need a personal trainer. I go, well, you haven't got the money for a personal trainer, so why don't you just watch a video and start doing it yourself? No.
There you go.
No, there you go. No. And then, he is paired with another perfectionist, so it's drama.
Yeah. So you won't.
There's drama there because
it stops you from doing.
You need a professional in order not to do an exercise that might hurt you. Yes, that is true. But you can also just start.
You can start with an exercise that's safe.
Exactly.
With weights, if you're doing weight training, weights that are safe for you, and just get on with it. And just roll your sleeve up and just start and just do it. And you'll be healthier for it.
Exactly. I mean, when we first came to Italy, and they still say that now, so many people actually know how to speak English, but they won't. They are literally paralyzed by the fear of looking foolish, and they, they're not. It's ridiculous, isn't it? You think, oh, but you didn't. Sometimes you can
studied English for like 10 years at school, and you still don't want to speak it.
They won't speak it because it's part of the culture.
Can't speak English.
They say, oh no, it's really, really bad. Oh no. And I know it can be embarrassing. It's like me, if I try and speak French, I haven't spoken French for years. I'm gonna mess up.
Yeah.
But does that actually stop me? No. If I find a French person and I see that they need help, I will speak to them in French.
Well, I will too.
So, that's because we're not...
We'll do our best.
We'll do our best to try and, whatever we can.
That brings me back to when... Therefore, when I remember you telling me, why don't you have a baby now?
Exactly.
Because I had been living with my partner, who's my husband now at the time, for ages. We met when we were 19, and we'd been living together.
We were so happy
in Italy. I wasn't working at the time, so it was like the perfect opportunity. And you said, why don't you have a baby when you were trying to get pregnant? You said, you try as well. And I'd go, well, I can't have a baby. And you said, why not? You haven't tried, well, there aren't any problems or anything. I said, no, but I can't have one because we haven't got a house yet. We have to buy our house first. And you said, why?
Yeah,
because we were living in rented accommodation. In those days, it was more common for you to
be able to purchase a house.
Nowadays, hardly anyone can purchase one because it's so, expensive. But then in those days, you could if you'd saved up. So I said, we're saving for a down payment. And you said, why you should just go for it. Who cares? You don't need to. You live in a nice place. You've got enough room to live, to have a baby.
There's room for the cot. You had like another room.
Yeah, I even had an extra room. So I said, there's room for a cot. So just do it. And we did it. And we actually bought our house 4 years later. 6 years later.
6 years later,
we had two children, and we bought a house. And 6 years later.
You rented the house with the two children.
We rented our forever home that we bought, and then we did it all by ourselves as well, because we just did it. You just do it, and how many life experiences and how much goodness has that brought.
Yes, and it enabled the fact that you did have them. At least mum and dad enjoyed them because then they passed away.
Yes, they did.
They got to see them, and you got all that satisfaction of actually memories, of having our parents see your children.
Well, they wouldn't have seen much. They weren't in very good health conditions.
Exactly. By the time you actually moved.
It was much harder.
Yeah. So you actually got mum to actually enjoy your first daughter
yeah.
a lot, and you have all those memories, which you may not have had. So sometimes, waiting for the perfect moment might not be the perfect moment, in real life. It might be just the perfect moment that you think is the perfect moment in your
because you've
head.
got this thing in your head, this idea,
this programming or whatever of all the comparing it to other people,
Well, I think nowadays more than ever, it's so much because of social media.
It always has been, hasn't it?
It has been before.
Always.
It was like the next door neighbour, what the group was. But now it's like being tenfold, 100-fold heightened.
I know.
Because everything is so curated on social media that you believe, we all get fooled that life is really like that. When it's just one moment, one glimpse.
And yet we know it's
staged.
not real, but we kind of like, there's a part of our brains
There's a part of our brain that wants it to be real.
Because it looks
so then
beautiful.
We compare ourselves to it. And, as we were chatting before when we were having a cup of tea, if we had been like that, I mean, when we do this podcast, we video the podcast as well, whereas so many of our colleagues say, oh no, I can't video it because, my hair's not perfect, or I haven't got the right lights, or the studio's not perfect.
I haven't got the
proper editing team to edit it. And just go for it. We just go for it. If we hadn't, we wouldn't have started a podcast.
No, never.
No, so you wouldn't be listening to us now because you just
say no. We become,
you need a team. You need someone to edit it. You need someone to curate it. You need, something to talk about every week.
Yeah, I mean, we just basically chat about what we were chatting about 1 minute before in the kitchen.
We're having tea.
Yeah, and then our own experiences, and as therapists as well, that obviously comes in, but just general, a lot of stuff that just happens to us and our families. So there's no need to have it so curated.
So perfect. I think the imperfection is what's attractive as well, because when something is so perfect, you think, yeah, well, but where's the soul in it?
Yeah, where's the soul?
When we look at our houses, we know we've painted that room, and we might think, oh yeah.
I know,
but
the
look
mistake
at all
is there.
I mean, like when we were doing our bathroom out, and we've got our little son who was 2, who did a little. He came in to help his daddy, and he did a little scratch on the tile.
And you've got that memory.
And we've got that still there. We kept it, where he scratched a tile because he wanted to.
Yeah, adorable, exactly. But that's part of the history of the feelings, of the emotions.
So beautiful in the end.
So yeah, I think this myth about everything having to be perfect and curated is not true.
It's not.
Nature is not like that either, is it? If we look at nature, I mean,
if you look at a field, there'd be millions of weeds in it.
Exactly.
And then there'll be the odd beautiful flower.
Well, sometimes the weeds are the beautiful flowers. If it just depends how you're looking at it. Because the dandelions and everything else that's considered a weed, look at the beauty in it. The daisies, in my garden now, they're weeds, but they're beautiful. They're beautiful white flowers.
So they are perfect in their imperfections.
Exactly, yes. I think that's it. I think we have to look at things a little bit differently and allow more flexibility to enter our minds.
And take a deep breath and just say, look, this is all part of the journey. If it's going to be a good thing in the end, if it's not going to be toxic for us, if it's going to be toxic for us and stop us doing what we really want to be doing right now, just let go.
Is it worth it? No, it's not. It's never worth it.
It's actually, it can actually be very dangerous for your health and for everything else.
Yeah, and for the people around you
and
as
for your
well.
well-being.
Yeah. Because it can be a great dampener on, your social life, on the people around you, if they know that, oh dear, that person's going to get upset if they invite us to dinner and then the dinner doesn't come out well, for example.
Yeah.
We know they're going to be grumpy in the kitchen, there's no point.
You might as well just have a big laugh about it and just put it in your memory cupboard. It's it's part of memories, isn't it? It's part of life.
Exactly.
So let us know if you enjoy this podcast. Please do leave a comment if you're watching us on YouTube, or send us a text if you're listening wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you are.
And let us know if you feel that you kind of have become more perfectionist over time, and if you think that social media is influencing you as well.
Exactly.
Or if you've got anyone around you that's like that.
Yeah, let us know. see you next week. Lots of love and smiles from the English sisters. Bye-bye.